Hi everyone, Aryan here, and today we are going to create this section here by using Bricks Builder and AutomaticCSS. If you want to know more about my setup, check the description of this video. Okay, so let's see how it behaves on other responsive resolutions like the mobile one. Okay, everything gets vertical. So let's start right away by building this in bricks, of course. So click on section, click on here on this container, and with the container selected, I'm going to add first of all an image. Okay, then I will also add by clicking here and removing the search. Let's find a block. Okay, and inside of the block, so just get here and select the block. You need to add two links. So plus button, search for link, text link, and text link. Okay, great. So with the block still selected, you can keep flex and you can tell him horizontal and just go and add a column gap, right? So I'm going to add my column gap here. Fantastic. And I'm also going to oops, not this one, to center to the main axis. And let's add very quickly the image too. So by selecting our image, I have a logo somewhere. Here is it. Okay, so we have our logo, and of course I'm going to center this. To center this, you can actually use the container. So by clicking on the container, click here, you're basically center everything here. Okay, so now we have our centering correctly set it up. Perfect. If you want more space between the logo here, so keep the container here selected, and row gap, just add your row gap. I would go with S, and I also try to get those very quickly. So the text link here. Okay, and also this one. If you want to add an icon very quickly, just click on the text link icon, and you can upload your own icon by enable this from the Bricks Builder setting, general settings, or otherwise you can use something else like the one, like if I add link or arrow. Oops, arrow. Okay, you find all sort of icons. Let's say I want to use this one, and just tell him to show it on the right. And as you can see, it's showing it, and the gap, you can add, 1 EM, and you have the gap, or 0.5, whatever you want. Great. So yeah, so you can do the same thing to the other one. I would do this just to remove this and duplicate the first one, and just rename it so that it's faster. You can also apply classes, okay, to the links, and yeah, that's actually all. Okay, great. So now that you basically did this, we need to keep going with the rest of the design. There is this image here, and then there is some content. Let me save very quickly the image. And then, okay, so I have the image now. Let me add a new container. So close this container, select the section, and just go on plus button and choose another container. Now we have another container. Sometimes, like in this case, the container gets out of the section. Just drag it in case, and put it in the same line of the other one. And now with this container selected, we can basically add an image. So plus button, search here for image. You have now your image. You can upload it. Oh, I'm backing up my iPhone here. Let me try to upload the file in this way. Here you go. And you can, of course, click on container and just tell the container to center everything. Okay, and then get back to the image. You can also add some border by going on style, border, and you can basically add your border. I will do this very quickly and click on this to link everything. Perfect. So now what I usually do is to add another container, okay, for the rest of the content. So for those two columns, right? And it's pretty easy. You just go on section again, plus button, click on container. This time he added it in the same line of the others. Not sure why sometimes it works and sometimes not, but just make sure it gets aligned to the other one, okay? And with this container selected, you can go on content and then display grid. And in grid, you basically set up like two columns. In this case, like that, container selected, plus button, search for block. Okay, so we added our first block here. And with the block selected, we need to check what kind of content we need to add. So we have this one and this one, right? Perfect. So we have a title. So go plus button and search for a title, or in this case a heading, and then a rich text. And then I would also add instead I will be adding not a block but a div, okay? And now I'm going to select this div that I just added. You can find it in the structure here. With the div selected, you can change this to grid and just add two columns like this, okay? And yeah, so now that we set it up this, you can also go on style, style, layout, and the width, you can also set it to like 100%. And what we need to do now is to actually add inside of the div two listings, right? And those are the listings here. So there are 8 elements. And that's very easy. So you just basically go here, okay, and then search for list, I guess. Yep. Okay, so it adds up a list. You can click on list here and go on content and choose what element you want to keep or hide. In our case, we just don't want to have everything, so I'm going to remove this one just to keep the first one. I'm not using the metadata, and yeah, okay. So let's go on icon. On icon, I can check for an icon here. Let me see. Check. Okay, they have it, and you can change the color of it, of course, by clicking here. Okay, and then you can change the size, the height, the width, or whatever. Let me try and go and check what we have. Okay, title, we have the title margin. Let's see if I type in 10 here, so it's giving some margin on the left. So yeah, 10 would be great. Otherwise, you can use your some settings from AutomaticCSS. And then there is a line that I'm trying to understand where it is. Highlight separator, here is it. You can disable it, and of course we need to set the text to the left. Title, list item, here is it. Okay, so we set it up, our content. Of course, you can then set up the text, style, typography, whatever. And here you can actually duplicate this. So let me just get some content here, like A/B test. Oops. Okay. And you can basically start duplicating these like 4 times. List item, you can also add some padding at the bottom if you want. Like XS, for example, is adding some padding, okay, so that everything is a little bit more, spaced. You can also reduce this. I would go with a calculation, maybe like calc XS, and then get to the end here, divide 2. Okay, and now it's a little bit smaller. You can also divide for 3, so you know, you can style it as you wish. Just to go faster, I will avoid that. And then you can duplicate it and you get this structure here. So very easy, right? I just wanted to check if you are able to do it in 2 columns without having to duplicate it, but I think that you need to use CSS, meta, yeah. I think you need to use CSS in that case, but you know, we structure everything, we know code, custom code. So yeah, that looks great. Okay, so now we have the block, we have the heading, we have the rich text and everything. I usually structure things like this. First of all, I call it block left, or let's say block left, that's okay. And then I usually put the heading inside of a block. Okay, yeah, just click on wrap block, and then I open it and just take the rich text and put it inside of the block, so that we have the block here and the div here. Okay, you can also change this to a div actually. So if you right click, you can convert to a div. Yeah, probably is better. So we have 2 divs inside of the block now, and with the first div selected, we can add our spacing. So let me just quickly get the content just to have something more similar. Okay, and then what you need to do is to click on div, and with div selected, I usually go on content, and I change the display block usually to like something like flex, for example. Okay, I make sure it's vertical, and then I use a row gap like XS for example, and then I will also you know, change the block left spacing row. So click on the block left, and here you just need to go on row gap and also add some spacing, and as you can see, it's space up between the 2 divs. Let's say M. Okay, and something else I would do is to actually you know, add some padding to the top of this, and to do that it's pretty easy. So just close everything, just go on the section, and with the section selected, you can tell him row gap, and look at that, you can basically set the spacing for all the containers once. So I go with a L, and now looks better. Of course, here you need to set also the width of this, but I will do that later. So once that is done, okay, you can duplicate this. You can just click on duplicate. This would be block right. Okay, in this way. And now we can add some padding between the 2 blocks by clicking container and then search on content gap. Here is it. As you can see, we can add our gap. Depends on what you want to, you know, how much gap you want. I can go with XL. Okay, the gap is a lot here. Check the design, is maybe it's a little bit less, but yeah, you can, you know, maybe this is too much. Let me try to add like XL. That would be enough. Okay, and now we have our structure, right? Very, very easy. So we are going to copy this now, paste it here, copy this text, paste it here. Okay, and then we are going to duplicate that element. So basically I'm removing this, I don't need it anymore, but I'm duplicating this div. Okay, and you can just replace the content. Cool. So we did that very quickly. Now you can style everything. Let's say I want to style those elements. First of all, let's close all the boxes so that we know where we are. First of all, I usually go with the first div, then I open it. And if you are using automatic CSS, you have BAM, this BAM thing, and I can click here, okay, and just say, and just name those, like, you can name it as you want, heading, I don't know, I will keep it like that, okay, I will just BAM that in this way, okay, actually not, I want to go back, sorry, because the problem here is that we need unique names, right, so let me try to give him a unique name, so let's BAM this again, and I will call it espresso div, and then I will call it, I don't know, column setting. I really don't know how to call it, so you can actually find the correct name. And as you can see now, our elements has a correct naming. And I do this because I have a ton of classes saved with same names. So, okay, so let's style this very quickly, for example. Okay, you go on style for this text. You need to activate this first, and you go on layout. Sorry, not layout, typography. You just set text to something smaller if you want, like L. And this text here, again, you activate the class, and I will go on font size, and I will go with something like, I can keep something like M, but maybe M is still too big, so I can say calc, and just divide it for like 1.2, or maybe 1.1. Okay, just to have the text like that. And now the coolest part of this is that you can wait, let's change the color too. Text color with this one, it's okay. The coolest part is that now you can copy the style and just paste it to this. Right click, paste style, right click, paste style, and do the same thing. Copy style, paste style, and paste style. The best thing of this is that now if you change this, let's say I change the font, everything changes, right? Because we are using classes. Okay, great. So let's check the responsiveness of this. So this is adapting correctly. Look at these guys adapting correctly. Everything is great. And on mobile, we have this little problem. So how do we solve this little problem? First of all, we need to check our structure here and understand where is the problem. So the problem is actually this container. As you can see, if you select the container, those get highlighted, right? So with the container selected, I go on content, and this time on grid template columns, I will just type in 1. And look at this. It's actually making everything vertical, and we have the mobile version that is working perfectly with no issue. Of course, you can change the order of those elements by getting on the block left and just going here on the order and type 2. And as you can see now, we have this block at the bottom and this other block on the right. And you can do the same thing to each of the blocks. So guys, I hope the tutorial was useful. Of course, like this video to help me grow the channel, and you know, comment if you have any question, and subscribe to the channel, of course. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one. Bye.